All right, guys, so leave it up to Democrats to reveal over time who they truly are. Okay, and this Democrat that we're going to talk about here today, I've talked about before, and I've said in the past that this guy is very clearly a fake, phony, race hustling fraud and dictator as well too. And the person I'm talking about here is New York Mayor Eric Adams, whom came out and revealed himself to be basically Bill de Blasio in blackface and Lori Lightfoot with a penis. But before we get in that, I just want to let you guys know that if you like my channel, you can feel free to support using the links in the description below. You can support the Patreon, you can support the merch, you can support the PayPal. There are multiple ways to support if you would like to support. So with that being said, let's listen to Mr. Eric Adams come out here and basically accuse the media of treating him unfairly because he is black. Take a look.
We need to really stop distorting the news. And, I'm going to say this. And, I'm not saying it out of hate. I'm saying it out of love. I'm a black man, that's the mayor. But my story has been interpreted by people that don't look like me. We got to be honest about that. How many blacks are in the editorial boards? How many blacks are determining how these stories are being written? How many Asians? How many East Indians? How many South Asians? Everybody talks about my government being diversified. What's the diversification in the newsrooms? So everybody go back with their predispositions, and my role as mayor is being interpreted through the prisms of your realities and not mine. So when you write stories, you're not writing stories for people who was almost homeless like me. You're not writing stories for people who were arrested and beat by police officers. You're not writing stories from those who are dealing with high crime. You're writing from your prisms. And I'm not saying this to attack, but my administration is going to be about saying the obvious that other people are uncomfortable with saying. Discomfort is growth. So I say that to all your owners of your papers, your editorials, diversify your newsroom so I can look out and see people that look like me and say, we're going to write stories based on the prisms that we have, based on the prism of this young man, based on the prism of being the first black woman that's the speaker, or Jumaane Williams, based on the prisms of his realities. It's not what we're getting. That's not what we're getting. And that's why I'm covered the way I'm covered. And I'm not comfortable with it.
Guys, that's just sad. It really is. It's sad at this point. What he did there, what he sang, right, to a mostly group of all white journalists, okay, that was handpicked by his office, right? He's doing the same thing that Lori Lightfoot is doing. Saying, well, negative press coverage of me, it's racist, right? It's because, you white folks can't see things through my perspective, right? You're just trying to bring a black man down, okay? Instead of taking a step back and saying, okay, am I actually really doing a good job? Is the criticism of me actually deserved, right? Now, this comes out the, allegedly, this guy had a meeting with some other state leaders in Albany about trying to get some of the recent criminal justice reform policies repealed, right? So Eric Adams is trying to pass his anti-crime agenda, okay? But he basically failed to get state lawmakers to budge on that, right, at the state level, okay? So, he's going to get some criticism for it, okay? Because he's supposed to be tough on crime, and don't get me wrong, it appears that he's trying to be in some aspects, and in other aspects when it comes to his own prosecutors, right, in his city, not so much. But he got a little pushback for that. He got a little criticism for that, right? And instead of just, taking the criticism for what it is, you got to play the race card, right? I don't necessarily mind when politicians criticize the press, because the press should be criticized, because, yeah, sometimes the press is on some BS, okay? But what I don't like is when you pull the race card and try to say, well, you guys are covering me unfairly because you're not diverse enough, right? Leave out the fact that this guy again, his office handpicked those journalists, those reporters in the room, right? They handpicked the all-white journalists and reporters there, okay? And also considering the fact that the reporting on him in regards to what happened at that meeting had nothing to do with his race whatsoever, but for whatever reason, this dude is trying to throw race in there. And now he's suggesting that, well, if you guys don't cover me better, then I'm just going to come in here, do my announcements, and I'm going to leave, right? I'm just not going to talk to you guys because you're not giving me, positive coverage. And you're not giving me positive coverage because I'm black. You're trying to bring a black man down. Oh, my God. It's just, it's frustrating at this point, right? It's frustrating at this point. Now, here's the thing. Eric Adams does have a point to a certain extent, not on the race thing, but when it comes to just kind of how stupid the media is sometimes, because there was some recent criticism of Eric Adams for allegedly being a fake vegan, right? He's been promoting this whole veganism thing, trying to get New York City to eat vegan. And apparently, when you're vegan, you're not supposed to eat fish. However, Eric Adams has allegedly been caught eating fish, and he was called out on it by the press a few times.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Since you brought up your eating habits, I just want to clarify something. How often do you eat fish, and do you eat any other animal proteins?
I eat a plant-based centered life. Some people want to call me vegan. Vegans eat Oreos, and they drink Coca-Cola. I don't. I eat a plant-based centered life. And those who are the food police for me, they can food police all the time. I eat a plant-based centered life.
So you eat fish?
I eat a plant-based centered life. And I'm not going down that. Hold on. Please don't do that yelling out stuff with me. I don't do it to you. Don't do it to me. I eat a plant-based centered life. And I'm not going down this rabbit hole of what do you eat? If you eat cake and it has eggs in it, did you analyze it? I'm not doing that. The more plant-based you eat, the better and healthier you are. That is my question to those who are following me around in restaurants, wondering what I'm ordering. Listen, I'm not doing that. That's noise to me. I got to get New Yorkers to eat a plant-based centered life.
Yeah, so from a certain perspective, I can understand the frustration with stupid questions like that, okay, about the whole eating fish thing, because it's like, I don't really give a damn about what this dude eats, okay? Now, the only reason it's relevant is because he's trying to push public policy based on what he eats, which, again, is why I call him a dictator. I think that's wrong. I don't think that veganism is some magic diet that's going to make everybody healthy. There's some fat, unhealthy vegans out there. What he really should be promoting, if he's trying to promote healthy eating, is eating a balanced diet that includes meat, vegetables, whole grains, fruits, all types of foods, right? A diversity of foods, and eating less calories, okay, than you burn a day, right? That is actually how you promote healthy eating, okay? Veganism, by definition, is not healthy eating, okay? Despite what they claim. Any extreme diet is probably not good for you, right? A balanced diet focused on eating less calories, eating less junk food is probably the way to go. Okay, so I don't mind him promoting healthy eating. I think that's a good thing to do. We should. That's what we should be doing in this pandemic. But to promote veganism as the answer, I think is BS. And trying to push that on people, in his city, I think is BS. And I think it's an overstep of his authority as mayor. But regardless of that, again, I think the media is wasting time on questions like that, because the real criticism of this guy is the fact that he still has the mandates in place, despite claiming that he's trying to open up the city. He's cool with allowing non-citizens or illegals, okay, to vote. He's cool with that, okay? He also is what appears to be soft on crime when it comes to his own prosecutors, right? He's supporting a progressive prosecutor that essentially is trying to let armed robberies become misdemeanors, okay, allegedly, right? He's promoting his brother to positions in the police department that his brother is quite simply not qualified for. And then to try to justify it, he tries to say, well, I need to promote him there to fight white supremacy, which again is another example of him pulling a race card. Okay. He also, a couple years ago, called his fellow colleagues, police officers, called them C words, right? Called them racial slurs, saltines. Okay. Again, another example of him, again, using a racial slur that, again, if a white person would call their officers, their fellow colleagues, N-words, that person would be forced to resign. Okay? Again, those are some of the real controversies and real criticisms that need to be addressed when it comes to Eric Adams. Okay? Not his diet and what he eats, right? Or whether he's cheating on his diet. That doesn't need to be addressed. But I guess what I'm saying is that at every turn you look, this guy is revealing himself to be what he truly is. He's just a standard Democrat, right? He tried to position himself as a Democrat with some sense when it comes to crime at the very least, okay? But he's not. He's just a race hustler, okay? That's what he is, okay? Because, again, every time you look, he's always trying to accuse anybody that is critical of him of being racist. He did this during the campaign trail, right? He accused Andrew Yang of being a racist because Andrew Yang said, hey, I don't think you actually live in Brooklyn, right? You live in some apartment in New Jersey. This dude's like, Andrew Yang is racist because he doesn't think a black man can have 2 homes, right? When Andrew Yang teamed up with another candidate to basically try to win, right, with the whole ranked choice voting system, he accused that of being racist. He was like, oh, yo, they're trying to suppress the black vote. Again, any criticism of this guy is always met with you're a racist, right? You trying to keep a black man down. And it's just like, bro, you can't do that, right? You can't do that. You can't accuse everybody of being racist just because they have criticism of you. I'm very critical of Eric Adams, and it ain't because of his race. It ain't because he's black. It's because I simply disagree with his policies, right? And I actually had faith in the man when he first got in office. I was like, okay, this guy seems like somebody that can turn the city around. But again, the first day he got in office, he extended the mandates, and then he came out in support of non-citizens voting. It became very clear to me that this guy was the same old, right? He is Bill de Blasio in blackface. That's what he is, right? That's exactly what he is. He's the same old, same old. He's nothing different. He's nothing new, right? He talked a good game, but again, the guy is just a race hustling, soft on crime, pro-illegals voting, pro-mandate Democrat. That's what he is. That's what he is. And I just wish he would stop playing the race card when people call him out for what he really is, right? So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.